stupid questions.
All right, this is the third installment of How to Hide a Face. This time, we're using Adobe After Effects. I've shown you how to do it in Photoshop, Premiere Pro, but I also got a request to show me how to do it in After Effects. And this happens to be the easiest version. We're going to use an adjustment layer. You might be familiar with those in Photoshop. In After Effects, we can add any effect we want to that adjustment layer. Let's go have a look. Here's the original video that I want to remove the face of this gentleman right inside here. So to create a composition that's the exact size of this video, just drag it down to make a new comp, let go, and After Effects creates a comp with that clip in it. Okay, so we need to create an adjustment layer. If we run Mosaic just on this layer here, it's going to obscure everything. So in the Layer menu, New, Adjustment Layer. And from there, I'm going to type in Mosaic, and you'll see a few animation presets inside here. So make sure you go down to Stylize, and we drag that onto that particular layer. So that is our adjustment layer. And turn it on, turn it off. You can see that it's hiding everything below it. On the left-hand side, right now it's set to 10 by 10. Let's set this to 60 by 60 for this particular video. You can see that obscures it quite well. Now there's a lot of different ways to create a mask inside After Effects, but I wanted to keep it very easy for you. You make sure that you have the adjustment layer selected, and you can see the difference of what that layer looks like when it's selected. Up in the top, you've got a little rectangle tool. If you double click on that, it creates a mask exact size of the complete clip here. You can see there's the outside. Now down in the adjustment layer, I'm going to hit the P key for position, then I'll hold the Shift key and hit S for scale. So position and scale. I'm going to unlock the link between the horizontal and vertical scale, and I think about 10% and 18% gives me the right size right in there. So that's the area that we're going to be moving around. The reason I did this is After Effects is really powerful and very specific about where something animates. And if you create the mask and then move it into the upper right-hand corner, then what you'll be animating from a position point of view is the anchor point. So here's your mask, here's your anchor point, and it kind of animates like that. And it can get a little confusing. Those few steps, create a mask, reduce it into the center, to make sure that it's around the anchor point, is just much easier for newer users to understand where the path is in respect to the shape. Okay, let's rewind our current time indicator back to the beginning, move our Mosaic adjustment layer over to the right, and over on the left, I'm going to set a keyframe for position. Remember, I'm showing position and scale only because I hit the P key and the S key, all right? I'll move ahead a little bit, and he'll come on screen. There he goes. Move ahead, and you can see the path starting to animate from the center of that mask. Just a little bit easier to understand. So just as we did in Photoshop and in Premiere Pro, we continue to move forward and position that. And every now and then I just rewind a little bit to make sure that I'm not missing something, because After Effects is interpolating or calculating the differences between these keyframes. That's why I don't have to go one frame at a time. I can go through several frames. But you have to be careful, because when someone is standing there and moving around, all they need to do is move their head quickly from side to side, very, very simply, and sometimes their face will pop out of that area. So you really need to make sure that every single frame is covered inside here. And you can get rid of all of this path spaghetti on the screen just by deselecting down here and playing back. The final result will look like this. Here we've got an output showing you the final result with a very simple track of a Mosaic filter on an adjustment layer over top of a video. You can feel very confident that when you produce this and output it, that the person's face is obscured. One last little tip, we've used Mosaic, but anything in the effect menu can be applied to an adjustment layer. Remember, After Effects is way more powerful in adjustment layers than Photoshop. Photoshop, you can do levels and curves, hue, saturation, which is great, but After Effects, you could do anything. So fast blurs are good too. So maybe you're not using this to obscure someone's face. Maybe you're using this to obscure a t-shirt that you don't have a license to show. Just run a fast blur on it and then try that fast blur in one direction, like horizontal. And then just remember, if you're doing this for broadcast and you want it to be seamless, feather the edge of that mask, and you can do that right in the mask. It's really simple, very powerful ways to get things working with Adobe After Effects.